Hey guys, I am coming live to you today on my personal page because the topic that I'm going to share with you is so powerful. If you're a friend of mine on my page, you know me probably very personally, or maybe just we've been acquainted. Hey Lisa, welcome. So glad you're on. This is going to be good, so stay on. This is really good stuff. Usually I go in to my Stress Busters group and share a live video every Friday, but I felt like this was such a great topic for everyone to benefit from. So I thought I'm going to go on my personal page and I'm going to share it with everyone. So if you know me personally, you know I've been on a health journey for about 8 years now, and you also probably associate me with health and eating, but there's so much more to it than just that piece of it. It's about your emotions. It's about your mindset. It's about really staying with good habits. And what I did was try to teach people about the number one thing that really caused some of this debilitating disease that I have to come about, which was stress. So in my Stress Busters group, if you want to get involved with that, you go to bustthestress.com. You can get involved and be part of a community of people that want to reduce stress, and that is where I teach every Friday. But today I came on my personal page because this is a topic that I learned just from watching a short little clip from Tony Robbins, and it's about 3 decisions that you make, that we all make every single day, that can change everything for us. So I want to go through them with you, and I hope it brings someone listening something to think about, or something to just, I don't know, use as a starting point to think differently. Okay, so first of all, Tony Robbins, in this talk he talked about these decisions that we have, and that decisions determine our future, not the conditions that we have. You know, sometimes we think about all these like situations that we go through, or these obstacles that come our way. And it's not those conditions and those obstacles and those situations that define us. It's the decisions that we make in those situations. So, good morning, Linda. I want to share with you what he says we make all the time. And whether you make the decision to do one thing or another determines how far you go and how much progress you make. So if you're joining us today, live, wonderful. Just drop a hi or where you're tuning in from. I'd appreciate that. I want to see who's here today and just share with you. So, okay, number one, the number one decision that we make. We make the decision every day to focus on one thing or another. Now, focus equals feeling, and feeling equals direction. Okay, so how do we determine what we're going to focus on? A lot of us, we focus on the bad. We focus on the negative. We are so overtaken by the situation or the condition that we're in that our brain kind of sparks us into protecting ourselves. So we highlight. There's this actual highlighting. Hey, Kevin, there's highlighting on the problem. So when our brain sees that there's something happening to us that's not in the norm, it will actually highlight the problem that's happening. And so we can't even think clearly. We're focusing more. The problem becomes more intense. Now, this could be a fight with your kids. It could be, you know, whether you got a bad news from the doctor, something at work, any of those situations or conditions that we have. When we're in those times, we have the decision on what we're going to focus on. That's the decision, number one, that's so important. You can focus on what you can control or what you can't control. And most people, they focus on what they can't control because their brain is highlighting all that problem for them. But in that moment, when you actually decide to focus on what you can control in that situation, that's one of those decisions that you make that will take you forward, not backwards. So you have some bad news, you have something that's going on, you have to make the decision on what you're going to focus on. Is it going to be on what you control or what you can't control? Okay? And what in that situation can you actually control and take action on it? The other thing when you're thinking about focus, are you going to focus on the past or the present and the future? A lot of us, even, in the Stress Busters group, I talk about this is a journey because we journey together is so many times that we kind of backslide. We have this path and we really want to focus on where we're going to go and how we're going to get there. But then we think about what happened 5 years ago or who slighted you, a year ago. The past doesn't bring us anywhere. The past is going to drain your energy and it's going to keep you stuck. You have to think, real successful people, they think about where they are right now and where they're going to go in the future. See, what's happening now is the present and it's what's happening. The future is going to be where you're going to get to. So we have to work on thinking, decisioning, making a decision when you are in a situation. What are you going to focus on? Whether it's going to be in the present and the future or the past. Thank you, Linda. Welcome, Debbie. So glad you're here. The third part of that decision, when you are making the decision on what to focus on, is do we focus on what we have or what we don't have? I have by my computer a little reminder for me because my brain is always looking at what I should be doing to grow or to go further. And I'm always, and I'm just being honest, I am always thinking about maybe what I don't have. We have in that moment to decide what do we have and appreciate that. Not look for everything that someone else has and try to think, well, why don't I have that? Why can't I get, how do I get it? When we decide to focus on what we have, that's when the real happiness starts to come. You appreciate and you can gain from that. So I want you to remember decision number one that we all make all the time in everything that happens, whether it's at work or your family or some sickness or any kind of bad news, you have the decision on what you're going to focus in on that moment. And you can focus on what you can control or can't control. And if you're going to focus on what you can control, things will be better. If you focus on the present, what's happening in the moment, not what, why did that happen, all that stuff. What's happening in the moment. Thank you for those hearts. That's great. Thank you. What's happening now and what can happen in the future instead of the past. Why did that happen to me? That's when you can grow and keep moving forward. And then the third part of what to focus on is what do you have, not what you don't have. Okay, so focus, number one decision. The second thing that he said was a decision that we all make all the time. We make this decision all the time. Is what does something mean? We are always trying to decide what does something mean. If when I first was diagnosed with scleroderma, I was like, oh my gosh, what does that mean? Does that mean that I'm getting punished for something I did? Was I not nice enough to somebody? Is it because I'm supposed to do something with it? We're always thinking about what does it mean? And Tony Robbins says, if you master the meaning part of that decision, if you make a decision to put the right meaning to something, you will have that emotion taken care of and you can change your destiny. He says decisions are powered by emotions and feelings come from those emotions. Okay? And if we can master that meaning of what something means, you can change whatever is going to happen. And so that's hard. Isn't that hard? If you think about it, when you are thinking about, well, what does that mean? Why did this happen? How is this going to help me? Why is it happening to me? Is it a challenge I'm supposed to conquer? Is it a gift? It took me a long time to decide that it actually was a blessing to be diagnosed because so many things changed for the future. But it took a while to get there. So when we are processing what does this situation mean, you have to really master that meaning And sometimes it doesn't mean anything. Sometimes it just is. It's just something that's happening that will reveal itself over time to be something that benefited you, or maybe not. Just don't give so much energy to thinking the worst of that meaning. And we really want to master that meaning so that we have an emotion connected to it that doesn't slow us down, doesn't keep us stuck. Okay? The third decision that we make all the time is, what are we going to do? You know, in that situation when something is happening, do we decide that we're going to quit? Do we decide that we're going to move forward and make some steps to improve? Do I enroll in that course, or do I try it on my own? What we're going to do in the moment when we're approached or have those situations happening is the third decision that we have. And that how you decide in these questions, the way you're going to go, is what is the deciding factor between being stuck and progressing. So it's decisions, not the condition. It's not the situation that happened that determine our future. It's the decisions that we make in those situations. So I want to encourage you today. 1, focus on what you can control. Focus on the present, thinking a little bit about the future. Focus on what you have, not what you don't have. And then try to determine what could be a good meaning from the situation. Don't focus on, the negative. Don't be worried about what you did and didn't do. Just focus on what could come from this. That meaning that might happen because you're going through the situation. Focus on that good. And then decide what you're going to do, but take action steps to do something that's going to benefit you in a good, positive way. Those are the 3 decisions that we make all the time. And I hope that if you just think about those and you try to apply them to the negative situations that are happening, that you actually can benefit and move forward and not be stuck in a negative place. So I hope you got something out of this. If you did, I'd love to hear comments thank you, Linda, in the comment section. Like I said, I don't come on my personal page that often. I teach in my Stress Busters group every week. And we have a great community of people, so I'm used to talking to them and teaching them. But here I got a little extra nervous. So I appreciate you guys being on live. And if you're watching the replay, just comment, replay, or put something in the comments so that I know that you guys maybe got something out of that message. Again, that was a talk that Tony Robbins did. Great talk. Of course, he's so much more eloquent than I am. But just remember, every time we're in a situation, the decisions we make in that situation is what's going to make us get through it. Not the situation. It's the decisions we make in those situations. If you want to join our Stress Busters group, you can go to bustthestress.com. I had 30 days of teaching lessons on what stress actually does to health and how it affects you. So if you go into that group, you can go to bustthestress.com, join our group. I also have a 21-day challenge that shares with you, sends an email to you, how to bust some stress out of your life. Stress was a big part of what caused that illness in me, or contributed to that illness. So I want to encourage you to maybe join our community and be a part of that. Thank you, Kevin. I appreciate that feedback. My spirit is nervous, right? I appreciate you guys. If you're just joining us now, you can hit rewind so you can hear the 3 decisions we make all the time and how you can make the right decision to move you forward. Have a great day, guys. Oh, wonderful. I'm so glad, Lisa. Yay. Thank you.